Now we want to talk about placing an image on our page. So far, our page is pretty boring. The only color we've applied is the background color, but adding images to an HTML page really makes it start to pop and come alive. Now you'll notice here that I added some additional text. I copied what was in the example, and then I added some more text to be able to have a full paragraph here. This is some text that I just copied from my personal website. Now, if we look at it in the HTML, you'll notice that it just kind of goes off the screen here. It just kind of goes on forever. And there is, in most of these HTML editors, a way to change the view so that you can wrap the word. So I'm going to go under View in Visual Studio Code and say Word Wrap. And now we see the actual paragraph that I put in here. I want to emphasize that you should put your own content on your page. You don't have to copy my page. You don't have to copy any of my sections. Be creative and set up the page the way that you want to set up the page. Now, I want to be able to put an image on my page, and so I need to see if I have an image. And I placed an image in my folder, my website folder here, called cr.jpg that I'm going to use. So make sure that you get the image that you want to use and put it in the folder with the HTML page. This is the first example of it being very important of finding the location of that image and being able to use that when you insert it in the page. It's very easy to insert an image. I'm going to put it right up here above the paragraph, and I'm going to do img. That is the element for image. And the attribute is source, src. src equals. And then in this case, we're not actually surrounding any text with the tag. We're actually making the source the name of the file. So remember, it was cr.jpg. I don't have to put anything else in there because cr.jpg exists in the same folder as the index.html page. And because we close every tag we open, we put the slash inside the tag and then close the angle bracket. This is a standalone tag. Like I said, it does not surround any text, but to be able to meet the convention of closing every tag that we open, just put the slash here within that img tag. If you don't include it, it won't matter, but I want you to be aware of this because it's very important in other types of programs that you use in writing HTML that you know how to close every tag that you open. So if I save this and come over here and refresh, you can see a big giant picture of me. Obviously that is too large for the page, but we can see that the image has been inserted. So one of the things that you'll want to get used to is creating images that are closer to the size that you want them on the page. For now, we can actually adjust the size by putting in one of the two attributes, either width or height, and putting in the number of pixels that we want it to display at. Pixels on a screen are roughly 72 pixels per inch, so this is going to be a little bit more than 3 inches, or right around 3 inches. And there are things that we can do to adjust that. Obviously, when you create your image in something like Photoshop, you can make it the size that you wanted so that you don't use additional bandwidth to display an image and then just shrink it down by the width. Also, it's very important to understand that we're making this image smaller, not larger. If you tried to make the image larger with the width command, then you'll have a pixelated image because you can't create new quality of the image. So let's save this and refresh the page. And then we've got a little better looking image here. It's more of a size that we'd want to see on a web page. Also notice that our text is wrapping within the window. So if we have something here, it doesn't go off the window and it wraps within the window, but it goes all the way across. So we will eventually be adding features that will allow you to control the dimensions of the page on the screen, but also make it responsive depending on if it's a mobile device or if it's on your computer. Now, there are also attributes associated with an image that will allow you to align it. Now, we'll use some other types of ways to handle this later when we start introducing CSS and some other features, but if we say align equal left, and again, this is, if you'll notice here, we're just chaining our attribute equal value, attribute equal value, attribute equal value with a space between each one, and then the values all in quotation marks. This should align the image to the left of this paragraph. So let me save it and refresh. And then we can start seeing the paragraph to the right and the image to the left. You'll also notice here that things look a little funny when we don't have enough text to wrap around the image, and so that's why there'll be other ways to handle alignment of your images later. So for now, I would say leave this out. Just put the image above that because I think it looks better. Put images anywhere that you want on the page. But until you have some ability to go into Photoshop and actually size your image, don't really go too nuts with creating images for your pages. We really want these images to be of a proper size so they don't take a long time to load on your page. And so that's it. That's how you add an image to your page.